Well, welcome back, everyone. All said and done, India are the champion. Today, we're going to talk about overall performance of India and New Zealand and more. Again, how you doing? How was the game for you?
Oh, what a win for India, man. What a win. That was incredible win for India. But again, it's a final. It didn't feel like final at all. Yeah, so we have both things.
Let us go for the top. What did you think about the toss, winning the toss and deciding to field first?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about this in the last episode too. We both agreed that, if New Zealand wins the toss, then they should probably bat first and give a target and let the India bat second, so they will have extra pressure, right? But they chose to field first, and yeah, and the rest is the history now.
I feel like they were comfortable fielding first because they have won on their all their game fielding first, batting second. But again, it's finals, right? There will be scoreboard pressure and you know how explosive India's batting is. So why are you not giving them a target? Yes, can they score the target? Obviously, but again, one or two wicket it creates pressure. But when you're batting first with India's batting lineup, it's tough to contain.
Yeah, and especially looking at the record, right? Like the past history in this ground, 11 times the batting first team has won the game, right? But for some reason, seems like captains prefer fielding first, regardless of that record. Not sure why that's happening.
That's pretty crazy. I feel like they feel like there might be dew coming, or I don't know, in their head, they might be like, hey, we will be able to get them under 150, 160. Average batting first in that pitch is, again, I don't know about day and night thing, but average first was like 188, and batting average second was 150. So, second, they kind of got right there, 150 odd all out. Yeah, I don't know. I did not get why they were batting second. Again, especially on a pressure game, in a World Cup game, they tend not to do that. And that's what New Zealand decided to do.
And doing that, selecting to field first, and they almost lost the game in the first power play itself, right? Like they were like 80 plus 90, something like that.
No, I think India was 92 for 0 in power play.
Wow. Yeah, that's the highest as far as I remember for this World Cup, right?
Right,
In the
I
power
think
play.
last time was 80. Yeah, I think last
Yeah.
time was 84, right? New Zealand did it. I feel like they all might have had confidence from the last game and seen
Mm.
what I talked about. Looks like they listened to me. It's like, hey, there's weakness in in India's bowling, and we have
Mm.
been batting all really good. We scored 170 odd runs in 13 overs. So even if they make up to 210, 220, we can chase this down. I think that's what their mentality was. But again, you gotta factor in it's a World Cup, and I think the inexperience on getting to the finals might have to kind of got onto them.
True. Yeah. And by the time Abhishek Sharma was out, it felt like New Zealand has already lost the momentum there.
Yep, exactly. I think if you look at the India's batting, let me get to the first two over. It was pretty good. They bowled pretty good on first two overs,
Mhm.
and then for some reason New Zealand wanted tried four different bowlers in four different like 4 overs straight. I'm like, if it is working, why are you changing it right away? At least get another over, you know? So and on that third over, the ball was supposed not to be wide and it was given a wide. Until that point, they were contained. They were contained 2 over for 12, 13 runs. And as soon as that ball was called wide, the bowler changed the line and got closer to Abhishek Sharma. And he ended up hitting it for four. And after that, it was like a just open and then run just
Yeah.
kept on flowing.
Yeah. Talking about Abhishek Sharma, what a game for him, right? Like he had been struggling throughout the tournament, and in the final, he rose up to the occasion and scored 50, blistering 52, right? So it was very cool innings for him. It must boost his confidence moving forward.
Yeah, it did. I think on the interview after the game, he talked about how it was getting on him pretty bad, and he was like, I was crying. I think and For I don't know how they do that. For some reason, they got Varun Chakravarti and Abhishek Sharma together in an
Yeah.
interview. Both guys who have been struggling, and they were just like, it was like a therapy session for them. I was down. I was like this. But all top three Indian batter scored 50 runs. And I think that's
Yeah.
the first time that has ever happened in a World Cup finals game.
Mhm.
Sanju Samson, man, again, man of the tournament. Sanju Samson, as we talked about last time, 350 plus scores in a row. That was that was some batting, especially for a guy who thought he may not even come to the World Cup.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent batting, right? Like when we talk about consistency, we talk about Virat Kohli, right? And
Right.
in some way, it was on par with Virat Kohli's innings, right? Like tournament. He was very consistent in this World Cup and in stages where India needed someone to step up the most, right? And also being a right-hander, I guess that added an extra bit of advantage for India as well.
Right. I mean, he had 88, 89 today, 88 last game. Did he got 100 on against West Indies or 96? It was 100, right?
I think he got 100, yeah.
Yeah, 100 against West Indies. Again, if he wanted, he could have easily got 300s in a row.
Hmm.
Last game too, he was 88 on 12th over. He could have just batted for to get to 100. Like, I don't want to say the name of the player who used to do that, who really wanted 100 every time he got out there and slowed the team down. But we shall not say his name. But he did not. He was trying to hit it out. He was trying to play and get as much run. So he got out 88, 89. Very unselfish game.
Yep. So his all of his three innings were very mature innings. Right? In the first game, he was a bit contained because India needed someone to be there, right? And for the semifinal and the final, they have a depth in their batting, and they were one down. So he kept going and going, right? So he didn't care about getting century or not. He just focused on getting the scoreboard ticking, and that's what he was doing. He was trying to hit big. So yeah, very unselfish game from him.
Exactly. And I think India were about 202, 204 run in 15th over, and then that one over on 16th, where they had 3 wicket with only 1 run. Again, I feel like that was already late for New Zealand to even make a comeback in the game.
Yeah, but it felt like New Zealand was trying to pull the game back towards them. But again, in the final over, man, Shivam Dubey, they took the game away from New Zealand one more time, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I have a stat. I have a stat over here. From 15th over till 19th over in 24 balls, India was 28 runs for 4 wickets. On the last over, they went for 23, 24 runs just on last overs. I don't know. I think it was already late. Once you have 200 on 15th over, anything over 220, 230 would have been tough for New Zealand, and
well,
that's what they
yeah,
should
but
have.
again, like if the last over was better for New Zealand, then they would have that momentum, going into the second innings, right? So at least they would have the momentum. Yeah, the last over kind of, I think, screwed things up.
That's true. Yeah, especially when you had last game where England almost chased down 250
Hmm.
50 odd runs. But again, it is a different pitch. I think that's one thing that is very different on cricket versus other sports in general is the stat does not from one game to another does not really matter on cricket. Form does, but stat because it's totally different pitching conditions, right? If it's a
Yeah.
basketball, it doesn't really matter. You're
Hmm.
not playing the condition, but on cricket, you're kind of playing the conditions. Another thing I was talking about, just something came to mind about Sanju Samson. He's the third batter who has got 50 plus run in semi and finals. And you know other two is
Yep. Virat Kohli and Afridi. We just talked about
Afridi, yeah,
that. Yep.
and yeah, we're talking about that offline. Yeah, I don't remember Kohli, but I remember Afridi's on England where he scored 50 plus on both game and won it for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was surprising tournament for Afridi. Going back to the tournament really quick. he was not like going boom boom in that tournament, right? He was playing very sensibly, and it was very odd to see him play that way. And well played for him
Right.
because they won
And
the
he got man
tournaments.
of the yeah, and man of the tournament too. I think
Hmm.
that's what he
Yeah.
got. One more thing regarding Sanju Samson, since we are on there, I was listening to his after the game interview after he won man of the tournament, and he was talking about how during his bad times, as we had talked before, he had a pretty horrible New Zealand series and all that, and he was not even almost did not even make it to the games. I think he didn't play the first game, right? They only got him
Hmm.
back on the second game.
Yeah.
So he was like, I was down, and I don't know if he reached out or Sachin Tendulkar reached out to him, and he was having consistent conversation. It should be really
Hmm.
nice to have somebody on speed dial like Sachin Tendulkar when their form is out.
Well, that's what mentorship does, right? Like if you have someone who is mentoring you or who can just speak to you when you are down and give you that confidence, that makes huge difference, right? Versus if you're down, you don't have anyone to talk and the social media is constantly bombarding on you, then you feel down, right? So that was good thing that they have someone to talk or someone who reach out to them and they boosted their confidence. So that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, in India had some tournament. Let us talk about the real quick Rachin Ravindra. He came, got that wicket of Abhishek, but again, kind of late at that point. And he had a really good catch at the boundary too. But again, I think it was pretty much late at that point.
Yeah, that's true, right? Like again, talking about the depth of Indian batting, feels like no matter if you take like first 4 or 5 wickets, they still have more batting power, right? So, and also they have been doing the same thing. Like Indian batting have been doing the same thing that they are sending like right-handed batter if right-hander gets out until till like 15, 16 over, right? So that adds pressure to the fielding team, right? So yeah, it was kind of late for when
It was
Abhishek Sharma
great.
got out. Yeah, he did his
I
job, right?
think it was
That's what he was sent out to do. Yeah.
get out. But yeah, I think it was late. Let us talk about the New Zealand inning. At any point, did you ever feel like New Zealand had any chance?
Man, so yes, when they were batting, like when they were zero down, I had expectations, especially from Finn
After
Allen.
250 runs?
Yes, yes, it's cricket,
Okay,
man. You
I
never
did
know,
not.
especially in the semifinal, right? Like what we saw
Yeah,
from Finn Allen's innings as well as from what England did, right? I had some expectation that this game might go very close.
I
Moment
did
Finn Allen got
not.
out, it was like, yeah.
Yeah, I did not. I had no. I after power play of India's batting, I was just like, nah,
Mm.
this is not happening. Because in my head, I'm like, hey, are you guys gonna be able to restrict India under 200, 210,
Mm.
then New Zealand you would have chance. Especially as we talked last time. Again, I think they should have listened to us. Like, why chasing against Bumrah? You cannot, because
Yeah.
that's 4 overs that's on your head, and like I still don't understand. But anyway, once it is 94 for 0, 92 for 0 in power
Mm.
plays, like at least they are making at least 10 and over for rest of the inning, right? So 14, that's 140 plus 9, that's 240. That's like least. Thank God New Zealand, thank God India only scored 254, to be honest with you. If you think about 28 runs in 24 balls from 15 to like that 24 ball could have easily gone for another 50 runs,
Mhm.
another 30, 40 runs. That's like close to 300 runs total. So honestly, New Zealand got lucky to have only 254 because of that one over of 3 wickets and 1 run from Henry. Sorry, news.
Jimmy Neesham.
Jiminism. God,
Yeah.
sorry, not Henry. My bad. Yeah, just that. And man, yeah, I had
Well,
no hope that they would do it.
it was good bowling from Jimmy Neesham, right? He was on a hat trick too, so it was pretty cool that what he did. But again, yeah, it was too late.
I mean,
Yeah.
he one of the yeah, you can say good bowling again. It's very retrospect because at that point when you are 200, you are just trying to whack everything, and
Well,
chances of you
that's
getting out
that's what
is
India
higher.
has been doing throughout the tournament, right? Anyways, so Yeah.
That's true. That's true. On the New Zealand's inning, I think Allen was dropped on one by Dubé. There was like
Yeah.
two or three drop catches. So if it was anywhere close game, I think it would have mattered on such a one-sided. I think it was Ian Morgan who said like there's one-way traffic on Ahmedabad today. So
Yeah.
so there, it is tough.
Yeah.
But
So also
something.
we talk about this, right? Like this was also a ring of light, right? The position of floodlights, it made kind of hard for a fielding side catching, right? And also talking
Yeah, I
about
think.
the way Finn Allen got out, like, he was playing that shot in long on, and there was a fielder in long on, and it's a power play, right? So you try to
Hmm.
get over the infields. You don't have to play, towards the boundary fielders, right? And that's
Exactly.
exactly what like Akshar Patel was trying to do. I was kind of disappointed that the moment he played that shot, I was like, why are you playing that shot? And yeah, it's unfortunate that he got out.
Again, I think it's easy for us to sit down over here and say it, but New Zealand had totally forget about the first inning. They could have gone totally different approach on this game. Try to not lose a wicket. You don't have to get 94 runs in 6 over. Maybe try to get like 55, 60, no wicket. We saw how pressure works on that England game when India was under pressure. They were nervous about it, right? So just create that extra nervousness on it. Bumrah had already bowled two. Again, what is up with this guy? First ball wicket. What is up with this guy? Two games, first ball wicket on a slow bowling. Like, that's nuts.
I'm telling you, man, just his presence is superpower for India. Like, his presence just adds that pressure to the opponent, right? So yeah, that's what happened.
In my head, like when I think about Indian team, I never think about bowlers. I always think about batsmen, right? Like go back and like, yeah, Zaid Khan, this, that, Harbhajan Singh, all that in back in the days. But every time I think about it, it's like batter, Sachin, Rahul. It's like Dhoni, Kohli. You always think about batter, but it's something up with Bumrah that, yeah,
Well,
I
that's the
don't know.
thing,
I
right?
mean,
So I feel like while the Indian batter has been winning the games, right, Bumrah has been holding the fort for in terms of bowling, right? So the bowling attack is always centered around him, and like they say, like batters win the matches, but bowlers wins the tournament, right? So that's what happened today. And also talking about bowling, let's talk about Akshar Patel, right? He bowled really well in the 2024 final, and he kind of repeated that again in this final as well.
right.
So
And
it was
again,
pretty.
something you talked about it on last game, why South Africa did not introduce spin early. Again, different pitch, different condition, but you saw the impact of spin as soon as spin came in because in New Zealand's batter head, I'm like, hey, this is the guy we gotta target. Spin is something we gotta target, especially in power play. And I think with that much of a run, India had opportunity to take that chance against Spain. And again, South Africa did not do it as you.
Yep. So talking about that, so did you notice the encounter between Arshdeep and Mitchell?
Yeah, that was
Arshdeep, yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was a bit kind of like on sportsmanship, right? Like it's a gentleman's game, and it was not that like if India was losing or India was in tough spot, then like you kind of understand it's justifiable, right? India was cruising, and it was completely unwarranted for, and he did not even like look at the batter after that. He just turned around, right? So it kind of felt kind of like it was not required at all.
Yeah, it was not. I think, but again, heat of the moment, it happens. This guy went
Mm.
and talked to him right away, and Asif did go and like talk to him right after the over was
Yeah,
done. He
but
kind of like had
uh,
a small.
did you hear his interview after the game? He was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, my ball swung."
What else you gonna say? I was really trying to hit him, like knowingly trying to hit him. Obviously, you wouldn't do that.
I mean, like,
That was a good defense, though.
do you think so?
No, no. I mean, that was a good defense. Like, what else you would have said? Yeah, I knowingly tried to hit the guy. I'm sorry. Like, you can't say that. It's like, yeah,
You can
I was
just say, "I was
throwing it
trying to
kind
hit
of.
the stump, and
That's true. That's true.
like it
But I
swung."
think he was rushing to go and make a reels.
Okay.
Because that's what Harsa Bogle said. Like. Are you
Mhm.
going and making a reel now? Like, yeah, we'll see what I can make. So that was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, Patel got 2 wicket, Bumrah got four.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, do you think Bumrah deserved man of the match?
Well, so by the time he got 4 wickets, right, New Zealand was 9 down, and I was rooting for him to get fifth wicket because game was done either ways, right? And if he got 5 wickets, then sure shot he gonna get the player of the match, right?
Yeah,
It has to be
I
him.
almost felt like they did not wanted to give Sanju Samson man of the match and man of the tournament.
Hmm.
So they just had
Okay.
to give it to somebody else
Hmm.
because when there's 254 runs,
Yeah,
you're not giving a bowler man of the match. Who got man of the match on semi-final? Sanju Samson?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Who else
so
could have
that's
gotten?
when Bumrah was deserved it.
Hmm.
Because man of the match are game that is one because of X, Y, and Z, right?
Hmm.
Like, so again, I think the reason is, the reason is because they didn't wanted to give man of the match to Sanju Samson and man of the tournament to Sanju Samson. How many silverware gonna give it to him? Yeah, I'm looking at Crick Info right now. Crick Info thinks the man of the match was Sanju Samson.
Okay.
Makes sense. But yeah, I think yeah, it was too late. It was too late when it came to New Zealand's batting. That was too much run and too many wicket down right away. But first 3 over of the game before that Akshar Patel finale and catch, there was pin drop silence. I think Indian fan were a little nervous even with 254 runs. Nobody was making any noise. They're just
Hmm.
quiet because they were like 22-23 in 2 overs. So they were doing all right. But yeah, finale.
Yeah. So also the
So
other thing I was thinking was that in this stadium, right, it's like more than I think 130,000 capacity, right? So
mhm,
in my back
is
of my
the
mind,
yeah.
when India was batting, entire crowd were jumping and shouting and all of that. And I was thinking, hopefully the engineers and architect who have designed it have thought that 130,000 crowd will also be jumping and they have structural integrity for that.
That's funny. Yeah, I think I've heard similar. I don't know which. I think it's Detroit Lions
Yeah.
stadium when they play NFL. They have similar because they have designed it
Hmm.
in a. I think we are talking two different things, but it's kind of similar. They have designed it in a way that you could hear a lot of noise in.
Hmm.
So what happens is when the opponent team is on the ground on NFL games, what they do is they make a lot of noise, so they cannot communicate better with each other and make them nervous. I mean, the way you're talking is like, hey, engineer, make sure you build the structure so everything does not
Yeah.
crumble when people are making that much of a noise. But I don't know how was the traffic going home for those people.
Well, going
15,000.
going back, I don't think they will mind. They would like be celebrating and all. But yeah, if India had lost, then they would have been really frustrated with the traffic.
Bro, something just came to my mind. That is half of the population of more than 5 United States in one stadium at one time. I think
Wow.
Wisconsin population is like 300, 400,000, close to
Hmm.
that. Like, so that is more than half of the population of entire United States, like 4 or 5 states in one stadium all at
Wow.
once.
That's really cool.
Did you see again, there was no occasion to it too, but I don't think they ever showed any New Zealand fans. I don't think there were even any, but they didn't even like how they try to find
There were
one or
few.
two.
Yeah, there were
You
few.
saw it? Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's crazy. But again, yeah, it was a very disappointing game. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I wish England game was the final game and not this one. And again, it would give us a lot to talk about.
Well, again, I really think that South Africa should have won the semi-final and they should have faced India because one of the
Yeah, I think
reason
it had
is
been
that
much better. Yeah.
much better, and also New Zealand and India had a series right before the World Cup, right? It was pretty bad. Like it was 1-4. It was almost like one-sided throughout the series. It felt like they were just practicing for the final, right? So Yeah.
But it was more competitive though. I think even the series was 4-1. It was very competitive series. There was very one end the thing I think Sunil Gavaskar was talking about on commentary was how they they batted Mitchell Santner for at 4, and then on World Cup they decided him to drop him down to 6, and he was the best batsman in the whole team throughout that New Zealand series against India. So that also is like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Did you see? Did you see? What's his name? Simon Dewell. He was so pissed. The New Zealand ex-player. He was so pissed when
Hmm.
Dubé dropped the catch. He was like, "Yeah, this is ICC men's tournament, and what are we doing on halftime with all that stupid dances and songs? Like, let the fielder practice. This is ICC." He was so pissed. Like,
Really?
pretty much like the way you're talking about last time when Bumrah was bowling and DJ was doing boo or
Mhm.
something like that. It was like he was pissed. He
Mhm.
was like, they didn't even had time to practice catches and this and that. This is ICC men's tournament. I was like, okay, dude, you're so pissed. I feel like I think he was putting up frustration how New Zealand did really bad, but he could not say it directly, so he was just like putting up all his frustration all at once. But again, India, back to back, first time a home team has won a World Cup, now 3 times World Cup champion, a World T20 champion.
And first
Yeah,
time the host nation won the tournament as well.
right. So there was a lot. After 2007, after it almost feel again, it's very retrospect and you kind of go back, but it almost feels like once India got out of that World Cup without getting to the next round from group
Mhm.
stage in 2007 World Cup, India has completely turned around. They won World T20, they won 50 over match, they won champ. It's almost like last 20 years has been kind of a renaissance for Indian cricket.
Yeah, and also
What do
they
you think
have
IPL has to do with it?
I think IPL has a lot to do with it, but also again, we have to give credit to BCCI and Rahul Dravid, right? Because Rahul Dravid was coaching under 19 teams, right? And the way they did that was for under 19 team, if you played in one World Cup, then in the next World Cup, it would be completely different players, right? So imagine that, right? Like every World Cup, you have like 15 new players and they get to train and play and still win the tournament as well. So that developed the under 19 teams and those are the players who are doing good now, right? So yeah, the credit has to be given to that vision as well. And again, like Rahul
Yeah,
Dravid after that was coach for Indian senior teams as well, right? So it was years of hard work.
it almost feels like a grassroots investment that they have made is like kind of like coming into fruitions. And I think the reason I also feel IPL has something to do with it is in IPL tournament, there's only 4 international players. So rest of the squad, 7 has to be domestic players. So what they do is they find talents throughout the country and they gave them like a minimal contract, right? Like maybe 1 lakh rupees contract or something like that to come in. They may not play the IPL games, but they will be around all these players. That's how they kind of
Exactly.
slowly grow into it. And again, it's almost like IPL is paying all this international player to come and play and give out their intelligence to Indian player. And I it you yeah, you cannot replicate that in any other tournament across the world. So that is also helping India a lot.
Yeah, that too. And I think India has good mentorship culture as well, right? For example, Abhishek Sharma, he was mentored by Yuvraj Singh, right? Which is really good to have a really good mentor, right? So that also plays.
Yep, yep. Anyway, I don't know. What else India gonna do? They won World Cup, Women's World Cup last time around. As last year, they won World T20 this year. They have Women's World T20 coming up. I don't know. I don't know. It feels like it's India everywhere.
Well, I hope moving forward, the ICC tournaments won't be like preceded, right? It should, again, it should be like, there should be some kind of randomness to like, how teams are seeded. That would give good cricket, right? Like for this final, like if you're an India fan, then you would love it. But if you're a cricket fan, then that's bad game for cricket because final, you don't want finals to be one-sided. I'm not saying that it has to go till the last over, it has to be nail-biting, super over. No, but it has to at least be like, fun game, like competitive game, right?
Yep, yep. And again, New Zealand, I don't know why you decided to bowl first. I feel like we'd have had a little bit more competitive game if you were batting first. It would have been interesting, but that's how they decided. Tournament overall, what do you think about the tournament as we close the chapter on World T20 2020? Man, it's so tough to say it.
So many 20s.
Yeah, it's like World T20 2026. I'm like, am I saying something wrong? It always feels like I'm saying something wrong. But yeah, what do you think about overall World T20?
Yeah, so I think the group stages were more competitive than the later stages of the tournament, right? Throughout the commentary too, like, they mentioned Nepal versus England game multiple times, saying that that was one of the most interesting game, right? I wish most of the games were like that, but again, that's not the case. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing, especially the ending of it. I think one of the best game was going back. Yeah, let us do this. Let us see, like throughout. I'll give you my two best games. I'll steal one since I'm going first. Nepal and England. So that is one good game. I like England and India's game too. I think those were two. If I have to choose
Mhm.
top two games, that's what I choose. What are your top two games?
So for me, it's definitely Nepal and England.
You
And the
cannot
second
take that.
one,
I already took it. You cannot take that. You cannot. Now you have to come up with two different.
okay, South Africa and Afghanistan.
I like that. Yep.
And I mentioned this before in like earlier tournaments too. Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Super 8 game.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. And I think that just for context of it, I think that South Africa and India game where India lost by a lot just for extra drama, like in movie
Uh-huh.
there's like a small drama. I feel like for drama that was a game that created little bit more drama. Like is India gonna even make to semi? Blah blah blah,
Uh-huh.
this and that. But yeah, overall, as you said, little disappointing. But that is what it is. Anything we missed out?
So let me quickly talk about some interesting stats, right? So for the batting, most run, do you know who got the most run for the batting in this tournament?
I think I. Ooh, dang! I think I know it now. I'm doubting myself because of Sanju Samson. I know it is. I forgot the opener. Pakistan's opener. Is he
Mhm.
still him?
Yep, Saibzada Farhan.
It's even after this after 100, after 90, 89, 88 from Sanju Samson, is still him?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing, right? Like we talk about this too. Like he got centuries, but his team lost, right? During the Sri Lanka game too. Like he could have accelerated further, but like he decelerated towards the end, trying to get his century, and that's where they lost momentum.
Almost opposite of what we are talking about, Sanju Samson.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And also, let's
And
talk
I think you
about the.
pointed this, yeah, real quick. I think you pointed this out. You pointed this out right after that game. Like you didn't feel good about how he was just going for 1 and 2 to get to his century. I think you pointed out on that Sri Lanka game that
Yeah,
you're
I
not
think it was
happy
like
with it.
18th or 19th. I think it was 19th over where the first ball he didn't show intent at all. Like being one of the most aggressive batsmen on uh, you know, he was doing really well, right? He was set batter, so he should have gone for like big shots, but he was like, yeah, let me just get my century first, and yeah, that was tragic.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Next one. You're talking about the next one.
Yeah. So next we talk about the US bowler who was the most wicket taker until the final game, right? And talking about that, he only played 4 games, right? So
Hmm.
that's very impressive from him. I think his name is like Vance Calwick. Hopefully, I'm
Yeah, I think
pronouncing his name right.
he was a South African player who played on paper. Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so that was really
How
impressive.
many
Like only
wicket
playing
did he
4 games. I think
How
it's
many wicket did
13.
he had? Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Well, beside that, what else we need to talk? I wish we get more to talk about today's game, but we
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
I have one
do
more
not.
thing. So for today's game, it looked like Ishan Kishan was magnet for like catching and all that. Right? Balls were going to him at all those catches. I think he
Right?
took like
Yeah, yeah.
3 catches, and the fourth
Hmm.
catch, he kind of like went over the boundary. But yeah, I mean, so many catches was going towards him.
It almost
Interesting.
feels like it happens. It happens. Like last game, the ball was going to Akshar Patel. This game,
Hmm.
like talking about all the bad thing about New Zealand, I think their fielding was brilliant today. I think they did
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, like
Yeah, they were pouring their heart out. Like, I think who was it who got hit in his head when trying to like save the boundary or catch? I think it was Santner's. Maybe not. But yeah, like
I
they
might
were
have
getting
missed
hurt.
it. I know Glenn Phillip almost took a wild catch that went for 4 or 6, but it was like a impossible catch to make.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
almost made it like flying into it. But yeah, I think New Zealand, given the score, again, we can say they didn't bat well, but they had no option just to go for it. Except the decision on top to field. I think New Zealand played decent. They had a decent tournament. They had a good tournament. But again, once you don't win the finals, it's kind of tough to say anything else. I think they are disappointed.
Yeah. So also talking about the tournament itself, if you look at the preceding, right, it almost guaranteed that India would play Pakistan once, right, in the group stage, and they were slated to play against Australia in the Super 8, right, and in semi-final they were slated to play against either England or Pakistan, right. So kind of like, yeah, that's interesting.
It almost feels like they should do a random lottery. I
Exactly.
mean, I understand Indian market, I understand Indian team, this, that, I'll understand all that. But man, just make it exciting, do random lottery, and again, if a team is good, they will find a way to win. It can be India, it can be Pakistan, it can be any team. Good team will win it. Just make it more exciting. I think that's all I'm asking. I think I have no problem that India won back to back and they look dominant. I'm just asking, let us not let us not tilt the label on one or the other. Let us make it as open as we can. And it almost feels like ICC knowingly tries not to do that.
Well, yeah, but again, ICC is incentivized to have India play the most amount of games, right? Because of the
True.
revenue and media rights and all of that thing, right? So it's kind of feels like a bit inclined towards India, like, playing, like, having all those good games against India, like Australia, England, Pakistan, right? They try to fit all of that in every tournament as far as they can. So,
Well, I don't think there's anything we can do about it. I think the India's dominance gonna still be there. And we have been talking about this for last 10, 12 years, and we think we're gonna keep on talking about the same thing for the 10, 15 years until and unless something happens. I mean, and I don't see what happens. As you say, as I said last few episodes ago, I'm very pessimistic about the overall. I almost feel like the franchise cricket might be the way going around, and once in a while you get every 4 years you get a World Cup and you just talk about World Cup. I feel like that's what we are going toward. If you look at all the players from internationals, like they don't like a lot of the good players, almost all West Indies players do not have contract with West Indies Cricket Association. They are freelancer because that gives them freedom to, let's say there's a series going on West Indies versus England. That gives them freedom to say, hey, I don't want to participate on this series because I want to play IPL. So I feel like that's what we are moving toward. And
Yeah, but
again,
again, for West Indies cricket, there has been a lot of dispute over the past decade about pay disparity, and like how much they're getting paid, and again conflict with the cricket board and all of that. Hopefully, those things will be sorted out because West Indies is a wonderful team and they are built for T20 cricket. So hopefully, we will see a more balanced team moving forward.
I was listening to what's his face, Michael Clark, right? The
Australia.
Australian.
Mm,
Yeah, I was listening to his podcast, and he was like, "You go to IPL, you play for month and a half, you bring home 1, 2 million, 3 million Australian dollar.
mm,
Like, I don't blame player for doing that. That's what
exactly.
he was saying. And again, we cannot blame players for doing what they are doing, because at the end of the day, yes, it's the game that they love, but also they need to make money out of it. And if there are franchise cricket that are paying them a lot, that's what they do. It's almost like in US, it's crazy. In US, when you talk about basketball is pretty much the only right now. Baseball, they are trying to do it with World Classic. But in basketball, they take it, they play franchise basketball throughout. And once it comes to Olympics, that's their World Cup. There's no basketball World Cup. That's it. And they take getting selected on that as like a big pride, right? Because it's very franchise oriented. And I almost feel like that's what eventually we're gonna get into. It's gonna be a lot of franchise cricket,
Hmm.
and international cricket would be. That's why last time when we talked, I talked about, do you think Olympics cricket gonna kind of start shadowing World Cup? And I kind of feel like it might end up doing it eventually, maybe 30, 40 years down the road, with emergence of like franchise cricket and slowing down of international cricket. Hopefully not, but that's how I feel.
Well, let's see how this Olympics goes, right? In the first place, and again, like I said, like last time, that they're only playing like 5 or 6 teams in this Olympics, so it won't be exact replacement, right? But again, we have Champions Trophy, we have World Cup, right? Champions Trophy feels like repetitive, right? And so, yeah, I don't
They just
really.
get rid of championship trophy. It's so
Mhm.
unnecessary. I don't know
Yeah,
why they have it. Just get rid of it. You don't need it.
and again, it also depends on because Olympics is usually in different countries, right? Like non-cricket playing countries. So it might be good advertisement for cricket. I understand that completely. But again, going back to the franchise cricket, feels like franchise cricket is also being dominated by Indian franchise as well, right? I don't know if that's really good or bad for cricket, but yeah, I think there should
Yeah,
be different team owners, right?
yeah. It's a. I think good thing about having a franchise cricket that is kind of like a global is it brings investment more
Mhm.
in than maybe it would have. For an example, South Africa's T20 tournament may not have had same number of money coming in as investment if there was no IPL. So the owner might be like, hey, I'm making 2x an IPL. I can afford to lose point say T20, or I can afford to only make 1.5. So that might help it. But again, similar problem with having one company dictating everything all around is like, what about the players? What about the players from certain country? Are you getting those? Like it kind of, yeah, there's
Overshadows all
minuses to
everything.
it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's minuses to it too. But I think something gonna happen on franchise cricket once there's a lot of this same group of investor investing on all this is, I think we'll get to like a mega contract. So for an example, Kieran Pollard plays for Mumbai Indian, right? Does
Mhm.
he play for Mumbai? So he might, instead of taking X amount for IPL, he might take X times X amount, but he would be playing on all different tournaments for that same team, like a big
Mhm.
mega contract. So I
Mhm.
think that's what we're gonna see too.
I think that's sort of like it's kind of like happening already, right? Like they might not have the contract, like one big contract, but like we see Mumbai Indian, some of the Mumbai Indian player playing for New York Mumbai Indians as well, right? So
So yeah, hopefully they don't come to Nepal. Hopefully, Nepal gonna stay alone. I mean, we see that in different league too. Like I think the owner of Chelsea is also like part owner of some NFL or basketball
Well,
team
yeah,
in
but that's a
US.
different sports, right? Different sports, completely
That's true.
understandable. But same sports, it's kind of like, yeah. So imagine, like, the owner of Manchester United also owns Real Madrid and also owns like other teams, AC Roma or whatever, right? It kind of like,
Are they on different league? Are they
yeah,
different
yeah,
league? I do not follow soccer at all, so I have no idea.
yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, one thing. Did you see the news? The owner of, I think it was Janakpur, Nepal, NPL Nepal team has like kind of co-owner of that European T20 league that they are
Okay.
doing where Abhishek Bachchan is like the part owner of the league.
Hmm.
You know that, right? They are doing European T20.
They did that, right? Like there was, I don't remember the player, the bowler who got viral with his bowling action. Is that the same league or is
From
it a
there.
different league?
I think it's different league. I think they are
Okay.
supposed to do it sometime this year, and I
Okay.
think one of the in Nepal Premier League's owner is like a co-owner or one of the team coming out of it. Another thing, so I was watching some of this Pakistan national T20 league games, and Usman Tariq, we talked
Hmm.
about his action.
Hmm.
Yesterday he was bowling against this national Pakistan team, and he went for a lot of runs
Oh,
again.
man.
So I feel like batter might have figured him out.
Or he might just need someone to talk to.
Doctors. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Anything we need to talk about this World Cup as we wrap and we talk about what we're gonna do going forward since World Cup is done?
So let's do one thing. What are your predictions for the next World Cup for India? Like, how many players from this current squad will be there? Because I don't think like these players
I
are
think
in retirement
Oxer
age.
Patel one gonna be. I I don't think Oxer Patel may not. What is the bowler that did not get chance?
Kuldeep Yadav.
Kuldeep Yadav. I don't think he will be. Other than that, I don't see it. I mean, Bumrah might. I mean, depends. He might. We do World T20 every 2 years, right? So it's next 2 years. I don't see changing unless Bumrah decides that hey, I want to focus on Test and I'll play IPL T20. Other than that, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see anybody change. I can see people coming in if somebody goes out of form and stuff like that, but I don't see the actual overall landscape changing on number like all the players. I don't see.
No, I don't see any because, throughout the last decade, it was like, hey, okay, this player is about to retire, like Dhoni should retire, is about to retire. Then it was like Kohli and Sharma and all of that, right? And this time it feels like they all are young. They can still play, they can still
Yep,
dominate, right?
yep, 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 exactly. Okay, anyway, I think we gotta wrap up real quick. I think Nepal's World League 2 has been postponed for time
Hmm.
being with what's going on in Middle East right now. So
Yeah,
we'll talk about it once that thing gets started. And on this channel, we are trying to expand it to talking about other stuffs too. So subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for stuff that's coming ahead. Any last word you want to talk about before we leave?
I guess let's just enjoy cricket.
Right. Yeah, we got IPL coming at the end of the month, so you're gonna watch a lot of more, lot more Indian cricket again. But yeah, we'll catch you guys up sometime this week, talking about something else. Until then, we'll see you guys again. Bye.